Hello folks, let's get started, shall we? Let's see. More secure among those mentioned. There are plenty of Jade families back on their continent. And who never found out what became of their families. Warrior sons and fathers, sons, maybe some daughters. In some cases, there were Jade were famous for using female soldiers, though the number of females, the men still had males, still had them outnumbered 10 to 1, at least, because Lady Light blew them to bits, ashes with her energy blasts. Lady Light found some wounded, friendly soldiers in her path. They were nursing pretty serious wounds. One of them had no feeling in his leg, right leg, down from about the hip, where he had taken a bullet. It was a nasty fate. It would be terrible if he was never able to walk again, but at least he wasn't crippled. Left a cripple. Lady Light was sure. Many people wounded in this incident were going to be maimed the rest of their days. Lady Light wished she had some healing power like Lady Dominique. You could see herself just spending all her time restoring people to good health. Let's go into the cancer wards. I can heal everybody. Lady Light wondered why Dominique didn't do such things. Perhaps she was always busy with something bigger, saving millions of lives instead of just dozens or however many people were in those cancer wards since the NBC disaster that was the Jade War. Cancer rates had spiked. Well, I had a scientist friend who talked to her about the cancer rates, and she asked him about what the rates would be for a full nuclear war. He said they would spike in the decades after the war, and the cancer had time to turn when but that people would die of many other things. Would be dying of so many other things that the cancer would seem the cancer rates would be comparable to they were in the present. Of course, many more people would still be dying of cancer. but many more people would be dying of cancer than in the present. Lady Light hoped there wouldn't be a big nuclear war. He was pretty sure her chances of survival were no better than anybody else's. And if her fate was to die from some terrible cancer a few decades after a war, she'd rather die during it than some nuclear strike. With Lady Dominique and those Omega level superhumans be the only survivors? Or would they get cancer too and die off? Lady Light wondered what these big things that Dummy was working on were. Lady Light always had the feeling that the universe around Earth was filled with great dangers and a lot of things that were very hostile to humans. Since Tommy was supposedly quite distant through the Jade War, like she knew that she had to save her energy for something much worse that would be here soon. But the Jade War was some minor distraction comparison. Twilight had the current crisis to distract her. Reddy got her to Mike's Peterson's temporary HQ. He was still in good condition, as was Dee, Gunther, and the reporter, Cars. Cars probably had enough stories to tell for one newspaper article by now, but he was still sticking around. Lady Light had a feeling his journey would soon come to an end, and not in a violent way. Eventually, they'd reach a point. Eventually, Mike would insist that the reporter stay behind. Lady Light, Mike said. Lady Light stepped into the room, his HQ, some meeting room in some occupied bank. The men had fought and died over this place. That was clear. Bullet wounds on the walls, the blood all over the floor. The only sign of that dead, the only sign of those the dead who had been laying in that blood had been carted off somewhere to a temporary morgue. HQ, a bank. No, I'll have to note that earlier. It was a bank. Wow, 10 minutes in already. Gee whiz. Let's see. What's our latest mission, sir? I ask. Seems that there's some incident. Hotel. Playing out at a nearby hotel. Mike said. But Anton 2 has gone rogue. Was it Anton 2? That might be Mike's own organization for all I know by accident. Like, my organization's gone rogue. Yeah. Anton 2 has gone rogue. And they're besieging a hotel with 2 VIPs in it. The hotel is down the way, but the enemy have a stranglehold on it. Their fighting even fiercer than the Jade. I see. He nodded, looking over to D. Lady Light didn't think. Fierceness would keep them from getting overrun. After all, she had heard plenty of stories of fierce warriors getting smoked and wiped out by tanks and artillery. Getting wiped out by tanks. Fierceness alone couldn't be a tank. After all, the last war. And at the end, the Jades learned this lesson themselves when, despite their fierceness, the Allies managed to navally invade their country. Naval invade. So navally doesn't exist. Word. And that's another thing about that Hearts of Iron game. Naval invasions. The Allies kind of did a lot of those, you know, and they're not very good. And the AI is not very good at it in that game. Basically, they just keep throwing troops to their deaths, hoping that they'll eventually make a successful landing. But, you know, it doesn't work. It's crazy. But once they get a foothold, usually it is all over. So for the evil axis, so... You know, he's managed to navally invade the Jade continent, Operation Dreadnought. And despite fighting for every inch of soil, they were driven back and eventually fully occupied, leading to the present political situation there. Lady Light had fought on the Jade continent, but she hadn't been there since the Jade surrender. Kind of funny in a way. Lady Light heard it was a good place to visit, but only if you were rich. And Lady Light was not rich. Not rich. She sometimes wondered if she even had 2 dimes to rub together. When she was free of the CIA's control, she'd have to take stock finances. It was sure someone with her talents, her abilities, would find good paying work as a bodyguard or a mercenary, merc or something. There were probably more Bloodkin war criminals in hiding she could kill and rob. Lady Light didn't mind living off their blood money. So this hotel, our mission is to take it? I guess. Our mission is to find a way through and relieve the men trapped at the hotel. Mike clarified. Radio. And I clarified. Where... See, retrieved men trapped at the hotel. It's defended. National Guardsmen, bodyguards, but nobody else. Who are the VIPs? Lady Light asked. One is the first gentleman. Mike replied. The first gentleman. Lady Light thought. Took her a moment to realize that was the president's husband. She was the first lady president. So it was always, so the spouse was always, she was the first lady president. And her husband was no politician. He was some businessman. Lady Light thought he was oddly colorless. He was an oddly colorless man to be married to such a strange person as President Jane Prima. Of course, maybe he had blackmailed her into marriage, since he didn't seem in marriage. Lady Light was sure that Prima had done a lot of nasty stuff in the world wars, stuff that made her own rampage against the Bloodkins, like some shoplifting, like minor shoplifting. So he wasn't killed, huh? Lady Light asked. Not yet, Mike replied. Not yet. He was wounded, and he's been running around with his bodyguards all this time. And ended up taken to the hotel because there was nowhere else safe for him. He's awaiting evacuation along with the other VIP. The other, huh? The other, huh? And the other is... The other VIP is... Lady Light asked. The suspense is killing me. Colonel Tenley Galt. Galt. Galt had been the ringleader of those right-wing militarist officers who tried to overthrow Prima a few weeks ago. They almost captured her at a hotel, but Dominique Vert intervened. Lady Light assumed that meant that she had to step in, or they would have got her. If Prima had been safe and sound, they wouldn't have needed to rescue her. If Prima's fate, if Prima had been safe, wasn't at risk, Dami would have never shown up. She would have left the Zenin army to handle it. Or whoever handled things at that hotel. Lady Light didn't know the full details. Okay, on that note, end here. See you later, folks. Auf Wiedersehen.